All right, I think we're recording. So, like I said, thank you for your time in advance. What we're going through today is the new rich content editor. So, if you're on this call, I noticed a lot of your names. I know some of y'all are Canvas folks already, but the rich content editor is the kind of like that Microsoft Word look, the multiple ribbons where you get to add content to everything from a page to an assignment to if you're building a question in a quiz or a new quiz, it's that white screen where you get to add your content. What's going to happen is that's going through an update right now. The update's ready. It'll become mandatory for everybody to hit that update in January. Turn that on, probably may do it right after Christmas so people have time to get used to it before the kids walk in your room January, just to help that transition a little bit. But that's what's going on. So we're going to talk through what that looks like. I will tell you, for the most part, to get your head straight about what this is, think about this more as an OS update for your cell phone. All your stuff is still there, but the buttons may be shaped different. They may look a little bit different. And you just have to, basically figure out just the new way of where the buttons are after the update. All right. There are some good things about this update that I like. I think it gives it more of it's definitely an update from what was in Canvas. I think it's going to be a little more intuitive just once we get used to it. So with that said, let's jump through. And this form itself, I don't know if I've shared this with you. Let me throw this in there too. Oh yeah, okay, I see a bunch of people in here. So you guys have this slide. So you can click through this. This walkthrough right here is also going to be very useful. It goes through a lot of the things I've said, but it's one that you probably want to just bookmark. And that way, if you have a specific question, it will be able to give you a specific answer very quickly, in case you can't get myself or one of my buddies. Okay, here we go. So like I said, it becomes mandatory in January. Let me move this guy so you can see it. You can get it turned on right now in any of the courses that you want. And then right now it is a course by course decision. So you could go into your second block course and turn it on and leave it off in your third block course. That's up to you. I'm going to show you where to do that. And this third bullet was left over from a training I did with my department. But I would just encourage you guys to turn this on. It is nice. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So to turn it on right now, you go to settings in the bottom left of any given course. Once you get to the top, you see I have my ribbons here. I'm going to go to feature option, and you'll see RCE enhancements, and you toggle this to green. What that's going to do is going to turn on the new rich content editor. Then once that's on, let me have you, get rid of that guy. I think he's always in an inconvenient spot. This bottom bit down here is rich content editor auto save. It's what you can't see behind my, there we go. Let me see if I go now, if it'll show it to you. There we go. So the RCE auto save, you can toggle that on as well. And this is really nice. One of the frustrations, again, a lot of y'all are Canvas people. One of our frustrations is at some point in the past 2 years, you've made something awesome and you didn't click save. We've all done it. And boy, we learned quickly that way. But you can turn on auto save now. So places where you can do this, it will actually retain your content a little bit more like Google, like we're used to, where it auto saves every 5 seconds. So I highly recommend those features. Here we go. Let me walk you through this new toolbar, and then I'm going to jump into Canvas and we'll do a side-by-side. Like I said, this is very similar to like an OS update for your phone. The materials are there. We just need to show you where they're at. All right, so here we are. We're looking at our new content editor. You see I now have this top ribbon of Edit, View, Insert, Format, Tools, and Table. Now, this row right here will pretty much, it'll give you drop downs, and in those drop downs, you can pretty much do everything else that you see here. All right, so this is one way to handle it. In line 2, it's kind of some of those same things broken out. Things that I like right here in this first bit. These are your very standard, every word processor you've ever used had these. So you've got your font selection, You can choose between paragraph versus heading 2, 3, 4, 5. See, I know Monroe's in here. So when you're doing your headings, you want to make sure that cascades down. So your biggest item should be heading 2, and then any subheadings below that would be heading 3 and 4. The reason that you do that, guys, is if you have any students that are using a screen reader, that will help those students understand what's going on your page. You've got bold, italic, underline. You can control the color of your font, the highlight of your font, as well as superscript, subscript, etc. So very normal stuff right there. Again, if you wanted to, you could do that as just as easily up here in the format drop. All right, our next piece. These right here are really kind of neat, and this is the bigger part of the update in my mind. So if you remember in the old content editor, you had what you see here, but on the right-hand side of your screen, you had tabs going across from left to right, and it said link, images, or files. And if you wanted to insert a file onto this page, you would come over here on the right-hand side and choose File, and upload a new file, and then it would put it in. If you wanted to put an image in, you would go to the right-hand side, find Image, Import New, and it would put it in. So notice that that is gone. That is no longer on the right-hand side of your screen. These buttons have taken the place. So remember, our tabs were Link, Picture, and File. So if you see here, you have a hyperlink drop-down. You have an image drop-down. Now here you have an embed media, which is super cool, but that, understand that's what that is. And then right here is your file. So again, same functionality, but it's now built in. So the buttons are still there, they're just in a little different spot. The last one here is your plugin tool. All right, and they were being a little bit cute. They put an actual plug for the plugin. All right, now what that is, those are your external tools. So those of you that are used to having like YouTube up there, you can embed YouTube easily. That's where that lives now. Discovery Education, that's where that is now. When you click on this, and I'll show you when I do the side-by-side, you'll see that it remembers a few, whatever your most recent plugins were. It'll pull those up first, but you can expand it out to all of our external tools. I skipped these little alignment guys, but you have alignment, center, left, justify, bullets and numberings, those kind of things. I wanted to get to these. Here you have your table tool, your math syntax error editor, and finally your cloud embed. And those I want to look at on the side-by-side. Last thing I'll show you on this page is now the, the HTML. If you mess with HTML at all, you're used to seeing that up here in the top right. That's now down here on the bottom left with the open and closed greater than less than. All right. Last but not least, your accessibility checker. It'll help those students out that need to look at who will be using screen readers. So I've been looking up. It looks like we've got some chat going on. Do we want to take a second and look at those really quick? Are there any? Carrie, can you post the? All right, it looks like that's just all logistics of signing in, I think. So I will push ahead. Exit out of that. All right, let's go to our course now. Let's do the side-by-side, where I can see. Now this part, I want to make sure that you guys can see my screen. So I want to show both, if I can. All right, somebody shout out. Let me know if y'all can see both of these screens.
What?
Well, I can see, but I can't hear. Can you mute everybody, please?
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay. Thanks for that. So good. I'm glad we can see both. Now, what we've done here is I've got this course on the left-hand side of your screen that has the old rich content editor that we're familiar with. On the right-hand side of your screen, this course I've enabled. I've gone to Settings. I'll just go ahead and show that real quick. I go to Settings, Feature Options, and you see I've got RCE Enhancement turned on. And in this course, I'm going to turn in that RC Autosave. I should have done that already too. So that'll save for me now. That's good stuff. So I'm going to jump back to where I was. All right. So I made this page using the old rich content editor. You know what these tools are. I want to duplicate that now with my new tools. So I'm going to click Edit. And I'm going to expand this out in a second. Let me just get some. Okay. All right. So here I've got that rich content editor ready to go. And let's start building some content. So it should be 12-point font. So I'm just typing, right? So here we go. To change the size of my fonts, all these good things that, I don't want to bore you with this stuff. Y'all know what you're doing. But I would probably choose my 18-point font. Enter. Now, just looking along, if I wanted to change that to heading 2 for my screen reader folks, I can make that heading 2 or heading 3, 4, 5. You just always want to have your most important idea as the lower number, and then as it becomes like subheadings, you go down your header type. All right. Other things I can do while I'm playing around here, let me show you these. In my edit drop down, I have cut, copy, paste, all of these good things that we're used to. For view, I can go full screen, or I can go to HTML. Again, these buttons also exist over here. This is just an alternative way. If I go to insert, I can link within my course or out to an external source. Images, I can insert media, files, equation, embed. In this case, let me put a horizontal line to differentiate what's going on here. So my course name, let's say it's American History.
Hey, Will, while you're typing that,
Yep.
Quick question from the chat. Is there a way to change the font size to a default 18?
To change this to where it always goes to 18?
Yes.
I don't know. I've never thought about it. Let me look into it, because that would be, I don't know. Let me put it on my list to see if that's something we can control or not. Okay, so good thoughts there. Let me jump back over here. This is just regular text. So, I would make sure that I'm on just paragraph, type what I want to type. I can insert another line below. Now, in my example here, I have an image. You see this little flag icon. We do want to start steering people towards using some of these graphics to help people understand. And again, your target audience at this point in our real life, it's not just students anymore, it's also parents. So these will help those folks. We pick an image that maybe means learning targets, and we use that throughout our course. We pick an icon, in this case, the little directional sign. That's always directions. We'll use that throughout our course. Those little visual cues are going to help us. All right, so let me show you how to embed an image now. So my two options, I could go to Insert, Image, and Upload. It'll pull this up. You can drag and drop things into this area, kind of like Google Drive works, or you can click on that and it'll pull up your File Explorer too. So let's say I'll get my flag icon this way. And submit. There we go. And that's also now saved to this course, so I can reuse that as many times as I want. This is my course overview. That's a header, but it's not a heading 2 anymore. That should be a heading 3, because remember, we're going down. The line below that would then go back to paragraph, and if you wanted that to be 18, you certainly could, but I don't know how to automate it. I'm going to work on that for you. Course overview is 1789 to 1877. Pretend that sounds really good and it gives a great overview of my course. I'm ready to go to my next one. So I'm going to do a horizontal line to break that up. This time I have that direction sign. Instead of using insert, This time I'll just choose to come down here, exactly the same thing. This is insert image, and I'm gonna upload an image. Pull up my file explorer. There's my directions icon and open. All right, once they're here, you know, I can resize these any way I want. If a couple of you are worried about like HTML, you can certainly come in here and change the code here as well to, you know, all this functionality exists. So if I change that to 20%, what that would do is it would show up always the same on a cell phone versus a computer screen. It always take up 20% of the screen. That looks awful. So I'm going to put that back to 48 pixels. And I think we're back to normal. Yep. All right, so these are the getting started directions. This is the same level of heading as my course overview is, so I'll make that match. I'll highlight, use my drop down, and that was heading 3. So you can add images here. You can just as easily add them here, whichever one makes you happy. I do want to show you one more thing they built in. I do like the rich content editor. It does some things better. So I'm going to go to upload image. But this time, look at this. You have computer, so something you already have downloaded. You could use URL to get something off the web, but there's a built-in Unsplash feature. So Unsplash is kind of like Flickr was embedded or was working with Canvas at the time. This does kind of the same things. What could this be? Christmas lights. All right, I'll choose that and submit. Once I get that image, I can resize it as well. But that's what Unsplash does. Unsplash is also available on your, let me show you, I don't know if you guys know this as well, but if I go to settings, if I want to change the card for my course for my students, so right here, this is my current card that I have on there because I think I'm funny. I'm going to go to that. I'll choose Unsplash and we'll do Christmas as well. All right, so now when kids see the card on my course, this will be the card. So that's what Unsplash does. Unsplash is a good thing. So let me jump back to where I was. Yep.
I have another question.
Go for it.
Will the useful Canvas tool still work for adding in the direction sign, etc.?
The answer is yes. I will tell you that if it's working well for you, by all means, keep it going. I fell in love with useful Canvas tools very deeply and very quickly, and then fell out of love just as quickly because I couldn't control the colors the way I wanted to, and I found it to be limiting for me, for what I wanted to do. But if it's working for you, by all means, keep going with it. But yeah, but now anything on the internet, just know if you want to make your own buttons, if you want to take that next step, like I know Michelle Parks and other things, you can go to Canva and make your own buttons. You can use Google Drawings, make your own buttons. So just know that that works. Any image that you can take off the internet works. Unsplash works. And literally it's anything. You can make your own. But yes,
Yeah,
it will work.
PowerPoint's useful too for that.
Yes.
Does Unsplash give images that are free to use?
Yes, if you get them through Unsplash, then you are free to use those in your course. Yep. How are we doing? I'm sorry to throw shade at a useful Canvas tool, but I wanted to be very honest.
Sarah Freeman asked, she said, I have Nearpod linked in my course and used to be able to pull one from the external tools, but the old RCE, but now I don't see it there.
Okay, let's take a quick look. Now, what we're talking about in this case is a specific LTI integration. So let's see, that should be a plugin. Here's my full list. And again, it looks different. A lot of the same things are there. If you've turned on Canvas in the past few minutes, you just got an announcement about 6 minutes ago announcing this right here. Do know that there are 2 Google LTIs that are now in play. This is the one that you're used to. That's Google Docs Cloud. This is the one that got turned on this morning, and this will be the one that we're transitioning to between now and August. So I just wanted to put that on y'all's radar, but they are different. Okay, so I don't see it there. So I'm with you so far. So here's what I would do, Sarah. I want to look at that more closely. I can control what comes up as those plugins. So let me make sure that that's turned on. And I will double check all of those things. That was Nearpod, I think, right? As an LTI
Correct.
integration through the plugin. All right, I'll take a look at that as soon as we get off the call here, and I'll reach out to you in particular, Sarah. Okay, all right. So we talked through that. So you're seeing some of your tools. I think everybody knows how to use the link. So you can go anywhere in your course or anywhere outside of your course, right? So if you have an external link, let's say that I want to send my kids to go check out, I don't know, CNN or something like that. I could just go to external links. This would be a link to, that would be, there we go. We just made a hyperlink, and that will take them outside of the course. I can also link them to anywhere inside of our course. So let's say if I'm building a calendar here for my parents to look at or my students to look at quickly, and on Monday, their assignment, here's the assignment. I could link to that assignment. I could highlight my text and have that link to another place in my course. And it'll say, okay, where do you want to link them to? That would be an assignment. And I would just pick the applicable assignment, right? So you can link inside of your course or outside of your course. For those of you that like hotkeys, by the way, that is Control K or Command K. Just highlight again the text that you want. There you go. Get the same thing, just if you like hotkeys better than clicking around. All right. So we've got that. I'm keeping working my way from left to right. This guy I like very much. I can upload or record media. So if I had a video that I'd already made, I could just upload media, but I can also record it here natively inside of Canvas. So one thing that I like about this is you can give those students, especially in like our distance world, if you're going to be a Connect teacher, instead of giving them text instructions or like a weekly layout of what's going to happen, you could actually record yourself by clicking there, click record, and there's an HTML5. Let me get that. Here comes my camera, I think. All right, don't worry about that later. But you could actually record with your face. You're putting a face to that name. You're giving that course a personality, and you can tell them what's coming up for that week. Your students are much more likely to look at that than they are to necessarily read a lot of text. So do keep that in mind. This is a good tool for those 5-minute instructions. This is not a good tool for like a 45-minute lecture, right? For that, I would take that, I would record it and run it through my Google Drive or through YouTube and then embed that. All right, so that was my recording tool there. I'm gonna bounce over, same thing that we're used to here. This is the old file uploader. You can upload something new, or if you imported your course and you have it from, it's already in your course, you could, right here, you could embed that content, and that's that. So still working my way left to right. In this case, it's actually provided me Google Drive. This is the new one, and I'm a little hesitant to, cross the streams and get into Google LTI 1.3 right now, but let me skip that. So forget him. Let's go to the plugin. So I can embed College Board questions, Discovery Ed, if I had a Discovery Ed video that I wanted to put in here as like an activator or a story starter, or if I had maybe something in my math tech book, what would happen is I'd click on this, it would pull up a Discovery Ed, it would pull up the things that I have access to as a teacher at that particular school. I could find the assignment, and then this will end up being a link. Let me just show you that quickly. All right, let's say that's the thing I want. Okay. Notice that this goes in from Discovery Ed. It goes in as a link, and if they click there, it'll pop up a new tab and it'll take that student to Discovery Ed. So that's how that particular one works. Now you see that I use Discovery Ed, so it puts it up in my recently used, but I click here to view all. I can bring in, this is the old integration, I can bring in anything from my Google Drive if I wanted them to look at it. And again, we're building content, we're not assessing anything yet. But I could pull in anything here. And the new tool will work very similarly. And then finally, I have my table tool. You know, you have all these things. You can get into table properties, just like always. Let's see if I remember any. I think that should be all white, I think, which would be kind of useless. So let's mix it. Advanced. Oh, I don't have any hex colors sitting around, do I? There we go. I'm just going to show you this. I don't know if you guys have gotten into this at all. You can actually control the colors of your table. So I can choose my background color right there. And now my table has this. So there's some style elements you can get into if you want, and all those are still available. If I'm that math teacher, I have my math tools here. Not my favorite tool, but it is there, which is nice. And then finally, I have my embed. So when would I use the embed? The biggest reason that I personally use the embed is Quizlet. So if I've got a lot of really good Quizlet sets, if I'm the French teacher, and I've got really good Quizlet sets that I want, what I will do is I would actually go, let me get to where I can use one of these. I would go to my Quizlet account. So many pop-ups, hold on. Yep. All right, and I'm just gonna, okay, in this case, now I am Ms. Hip. Here's the one I want them to do. I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna hover over the 3 dots, get my embed code, and let's play the matching game. I'll copy that HTML. And now the students are gonna play that game directly inside of my course, all right? That's how you use your embed too. If I save that, you'll get to kind of see it.
Hey, Will,
Yep.
so a couple of questions in the chat.
Go for it.
So does Embed let us skip using the HTML editor for embeds?
Say the question one more time.
Okay. Does Embed let us skip using the HTML editor for embeds?
Yeah, it does the same purpose. So yes, you could avoid that. So if I go to edit, what I did is I clicked the cloud to do what I did. Let's make this go away. Now, alternatively, I could have come right down here. Now I'm in my HTML and I paste that same thing. Now I should see 2 of these on my page. There's the top one that I use the cloud. There's the bottom one where I use my HTML editor. So they serve the same function, that's correct. But if that right there, if that looks like some foreign language to you, by all means, put your cursor where you want the item to be, click the cloud, and paste. Oop. It's being difficult. Here, let me go back and grab my code. There you go. So yeah, they serve the same function. Absolutely right.
Okay. And then Suzanne, awesome. She was able to get Nearpod back in, so that's good.
Awesome.
And Kern says, would the link work for IXL where they have a login and it would save their password each time?
Would they have a login? So I think there's at least 3 schools that have IXL. IXL can, I need to look at how it's set up. Do that. let me look at IXL in particular real quick, because this kind of gets towards Sarah's thing too. All right, Brain Pop. So Nearpod, as it is currently configured, that looks good. It's currently unavailable in the RCE on top. And you should be able to find it as an assignment link selection, all right? Now IXL, I don't think we've ever put it in here. Remind me, is IXL currently, are kids logging in through Canvas, or is there a standalone, here's your username, here's your password?
I'm not sure. None of my school username and password, Tara said.
Username and password. So if that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised if I can make that work. Let me take a look at that. I don't want to drag you guys down a rabbit hole with me, but let me look at that. The other thing that we would need to decide is if we go that route, usually the whole school needs to go that route. Instead of some log in through Canvas, some log in through standalone. A lot of times these companies like you to basically pick one and run with it. So let me figure out if it's possible and then how to do it, and then we can have that conversation. But by August 21, I would think we could definitely do that. And the way that works is it pulls the kids' Canvas username and login as their actual username and login. So a lot of things can work like that if we want them to. Yeah. Well, without any more questions then, I really appreciate y'all's time. Thanks for sitting with me through this. I'll be back at 1 o'clock. I'm going to talk through the new Google that just got turned on this morning as well. That's it. Make sure you fill out that form to get your credit for sitting here. And thanks very much. By all means, reach out to me anytime I can help you. I'll throw my email in the chat. And all the other diffs are super good at this as well. So you've got people around you to help you if you need it, okay? Other than that, thanks for your time. I hope you have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Will.
You bet.